My name is David with Movie Lingo. Thanks for watching, but warning, the following review is full of spoilers, bad language, might be some nudity, I don't know. Thanks for watching.
Okay, you've tuned into another Movie Lingo review. I'm Eddie Lingo.
The Monster at themonster.com.
Cody Flutie.
Kendall Jenkins.
And we're here to talk about Tomorrowland with George Clooney.
Which sucked.
which actually didn't suck, so I'm glad that we have mixed opinions on this movie here.
But guess what, everyone? That's what we're going to talk about.
That's exactly what we're going to talk about. So, since we're already diving right in, I didn't hear from you yet. How did you feel about Tomorrowland?
I thought it was a great movie. Through the trailers allowed me to get enthusiastic about it. And so I went in there thinking it was going to be a good movie, and sure enough it was. It was a lot of good story in there. Action was pretty good, but I think the story's really what got me.
The story's phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. You look like you're itching to just shoot it down.
I mean, look, visually it was beautiful. Like, I loved the movie visually, but plot-wise, I know a couple of times I would just like, okay, so what's happening and why do I care? And the minute that I start thinking that in a movie, it just, I guess my brain is hardwired to just stop caring, so that I'm a terrible person. But it's just, I didn't feel any connection towards George Clooney or these characters
Okay.
And I guess we should give a little bit of a background, right, about the movie.
If you're watching this, you should have seen the movie already.
Yeah.
But we can get into that. But first, I want to know your thoughts. What did you think about the movie?
Well, I'm kind of like in the middle. I didn't think it was too great.
What are you, Malcolm?
In the middle. But I didn't think it was horrible either. I agree with you there that the characters there weren't really likable. I didn't really find anywhere to kind of relate to them. But I did think the action was good, the visuals were great, and the story, it had its ups and downs, but it just wasn't enough to really immerse me in the whole universe of Tomorrowland.
Okay, all right. So, if you want to sum it up for those who don't know, which really should not be watching this at this point, do you want to sum up what Tomorrowland was for them, please?
All right, so we're going to do this real quick so we can get into this discussion. So, George Clooney was a kid and he got recruited into Tomorrowland by a 9-year-old robot that he falls in love with creepily at the end of the movie, and there's a lot of weird sexual tension between this very old man and this tiny little girl robot, and I really didn't like that. There's a scene where she's like, be gentle, and it's creepy, but we'll get into that later. But basically, they created a device that is ending the world, and Clooney was kicked out of Tomorrowland. Frank Walker. He was kicked out of Tomorrowland, and then they recruit this girl named Casey, who's like, I guess she's the daughter. She's a girl. She's the daughter of a NASA engineer, and this 8-year-old robot girl goes back to recruit her to come and fix the device, and I think that's pretty much all I can give you because I couldn't follow any of it.
I think you walked into it like that, and that's why you couldn't take anything from it. My personal opinion, I thought the movie was great. I thought it was well balanced. I thought it gave you everything, just like you're saying. I thought the action, the way it was choreographed, was cool. I thought it gave you the family fun adventure. I thought it also gave you the love story, which he didn't fall in love with her later, which would be creepy. He actually fell in love with her as a kid, and it just never went away. But I mean, he was...
Yeah, it never went away, and she never aged.
But she's never real anyway. She's a robot. So if she was human, she would have aged, so that negates the creepy.
No, it doesn't. I fell in love with a computer, and I grew up and was still wanting to bang that computer.
He grew up, and he was just still in love with who he thought she was.
But he didn't make a point of that being what was bothersome to him.
That's true.
And you know what's so funny? The both of you guys said two of the same things that I totally disagree with. There was a whole bunch of likable characters. Like when he was younger, that character, just the beginning of it in any other movie, had it played out that way, I would have probably not liked it. But that little kid was so likable.
He was cute. I'll give him that.
And as they were going along with the story, when George Clooney was talking, I think the balance was good. Like in the beginning when he's telling the story, it's kind of dark and creepy, and then she cuts in and she's like, "No, this is a Disney movie. You can't be that creepy." So then now he's going back. She's like, "But and you want to tell the story?" So finally he starts telling the story from his point of view, and then that kid who you ultimately know it's him, of course. That kid is so the opposite of what you heard in the beginning, you know. And his character is likable, and then when he becomes the older character, his character is likable even more so because you're not supposed to like him, but he's trying to be aggressive towards this girl who they also helped you like her as well. When they drifted off and started getting to her story, you liked her automatically too. You know?
Are you talking about Casey or the robot girl?
No, Casey.
Okay.
So and believe it or not, like the robot girl too, they all played good roles.
What was her name again?
Athena.
Athena, yes.
They all did. To me, the actors did their job in this movie. I think if anything, if you were not to like the movie, now I'm not telling you how you shouldn't like the movie.
Yeah.
But if you were not to like the movie,
Come
I
at
think it would be because the story was fell, and the story was bad, and the actors could not portray what the story should have. But I think even if the story was crappy or mildly crappy, those actors did such a good job as far as making you like them. Each and every one of those characters was likable. The bad guys were likable with the smiles and that was
creepy.
He was hilarious though. The whole cat. I think it was a well done movie. Is it like super movie's gonna plummet?
Yeah, this isn't like breaking box office records.
Yeah, it's not. It's a movie for a family to go see together, and it has a good point at the end. You know, it has a very good point. The whole point behind it is so it's really a happy-go-lucky movie for families, and everybody's gonna like it. From the father to the youngest kid, I think.
There's a little bit of something there for everybody.
I do give you one thing though, the little girl, Athena. Mm-hmm. For a little girl, I thought she was a great actress. For her age.
Well, she wasn't real, so she was a robot.
Right.
Oh, he shut me down.
Schizophrenic.
He said, I probably would have got that.
You made a comment. You made a comment a moment ago about how at a certain point in the movie you were wondering like, what am I watching and like,
why do I care?
Yeah, but I think this is one of those movies where it's designed to be like that. Like even for me going in not knowing exactly what Tomorrowland was all about is the whole point of you watching the movie to find out like what are we going through all this for and
I mean I think there's a distinct difference between what is this and I'm gonna learn and I'm excited and what is this and why am I here?
So
like
the point when they were trying to get back in and when they got there and they realized that it was nothing like the promo commercial that she experienced, that wasn't intriguing to you? You know,
it was
then
cool.
Now
I did
want more.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I did want to know why Tomorrowland wasn't as beautiful as it was in the little pin commercial, and then we were introduced to Hugh Laurie, and he looked like a character from Skyrim. And
did you not see the first 2 seconds? He was in the beginning.
No, I know. But,
you used the word introduced.
We were introduced to him as Governor, as Governor Nix. Gotcha. That was the moment when we found out that he was the one that all the happy-faced, go-lucky guys were coming after under his orders.
Right.
That's what I meant. Like, but I don't know. I guess not all movies are for everybody. And
True.
I walked into that movie, and I wouldn't say that I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. I was like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. But
I don't believe it.
all right, maybe I had a little bit of a negative view, but I wasn't intrigued. I loved. There's a lot of things. There's a few things I loved about this movie. The tech was really cool.
Yes.
The way that they portrayed the jetpacks and in the scene where Frank Walker as a kid is falling and they're building the towers as he's around them. That was pretty cool. I need to get my hands on one of those guns.
Yeah.
That little smoke blaster. Right. That shit was cool. Like that was small and portable and that was awesome. But,
speaking of which, that killed a lot of people for a Disney movie.
Yeah. A lot of people are dead because
gave me a lot of appreciation for it.
No blood, but they died.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be clear, even though this movie, they used their sister distribution, Buena Vista Films.
Buena Vista can kill people.
They can get away with that than actually putting it as a Disney film.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So Disney, they've always used Buena Vista for stuff like that. It was like, somebody's gonna die. Buena Vista's got to just put it on. Loophole. Cool. I love this thing. So, do you think that, like, the trailer was making Tomorrowland all secretive, and then the movie led into it all secretive, and you were just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Do you think that actually hurt the sales for the box office? Do you think that made people kind of like,
Well, I
not
haven't.
want to even try and find out because they were just too mysterious.
I haven't looked up anything. How is this movie doing box office wise?
Not
that great?
No, I think it did on the opening weekend numbers. I think were like 25-30 million.
Okay, so not terrible.
Not
but
terrible. It was
great.
it led the weekend, but most
It's gonna be outplayed soon.
most companies want to open at least 60 to 70
Yeah.
before they start being excited. So
Try not to do that.
it was definitely not the opening that they wanted, and there were a lot of bad reviews out there. Rotten Tomatoes only gave half, and then Gizmodo said it was like watching a jetpack eat itself.
What?
And that's exactly how I felt. And I was like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah, because I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think people were Tomorrowland. The commercials were so vague,
Right.
and then they were so spread apart from each other.
True.
They had the one trailer, and then the trailer right before the movie comes out is here.
Yeah.
So you're like, what is this movie going to be about
And
again?
then nobody's
What-
excited about
That's a
it.
good point.
So then when people went in there, they went in there with one. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was a kid at heart going in there because I know it's a Disney movie, But I did think that it was gonna be something epic, which to me it was. It was a very good, and it wasn't just the cinematography that was good about it, but it was also in the special effects and everything. It was also the message, because nowadays when you watch certain movies from certain companies, they're trying to go according to the norm or what's popular right now. Disney, with this movie, kind of went the opposite direction. They said, you know what, let's bring, if you don't know what the movie's about and you're watching this again, that's foolish, because the movie's about hope, and about the future and about the world and how people are, it really is signifying how the world is becoming, where everybody's building themselves around false things, but at the same time, the destruction is still happening,
Right.
And at the end, it wasn't a happy ending. It was just
he dropped the robot corpse of the girl he fell in love with into a.
Just can't let it go.
and it was good. It was
And she went boom.
it was good enough. It was
Not
good
the type
enough
of
for
boom
you
that
to,
Clooney wanted.
it was good. It was good enough for you to get the message, I think, and I think that was the core of why Disney probably backed this movie up, and I think all the actors in there did a good job of portraying what they were supposed to do. It actually above and beyond. That little kid in the beginning, it was he set it off where your mood, even if you kind of went in there, aside from this guy, if you went in there kind of feeling like you were
don't
gonna
be racist.
tank a little bit, if you were gonna take a little bit just by that little kid, and you felt for him, when the guy's like, does it work? Come back to me when it works. You're like, what? This little, did you not see the amazing thing of this little 10-year-old kid
Put
built?
together, yeah.
I do have something to add on that, though.
Please do.
I will say that in agreement with the Monster that that's a bit funny to call you that. I feel like I'm on a Barney show. That the movie had a very strong overall positive message, but the thing is, in the trailers, we do get this vague sense of what's going on here.
What is it?
In my opinion, when that happens, I get so amped up for epic, awesome reveals, and I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally try to avoid certain trailers of movies I'm really excited to, because lately, I think I've said this before in other reviews, the trailers give away way too much, and I don't like that.
Right.
So,
I agree.
when a trailer is vague and it doesn't show everything, I get excited and I get amped up for complete and total awesomeness, and when that doesn't delivers, my opinion can't be changed. I'm a very stubborn
No,
human
I get
being.
that. I totally get that. I just feel like there's sometimes certain titles or certain distributors going in knowing there's a cap on Disney. When they put out a movie, like there's a ceiling that they're gonna hit, and I that's why my expectations weren't great, but I wasn't expecting to be fully wild, but then I was still impressed because the story was cool. I mean, if you think about it, ultimately this movie was suggesting that that machine is like basically like pulling Inception, putting the thoughts of the end of the world in mind, and instead of us doing something about it, we're all embracing it and loving Walking
It's not
Dead
gonna,
shows.
yeah, and it's not going to happen the next day.
Right, and we're all getting all into the apocalypse is actually like a fad, post-apocalyptic trends and movies, and we're getting into it.
Hipster.
Even though it's happening.
Even though it's happening, and instead of And I felt like that was the overall message. And I was pretty impressed because they didn't get all holding everybody's hands, and well, it was almost close to that, where they were kumbaya, but they found an action-y family adventure way to say, wake up. You know, we need, if we're gonna stop it, we need to do it now.
Disney needs to chill with their shit. They bought Star Wars, they bought Marvel.
And you're not mad at that. You are not mad at that.
I'm not, but now they're trying to change the world.
Save it so we can keep getting Marvel movies.
So yeah. No world, no Marvel movies, man. Don't you get that, man?
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, still. Be a race. Disney's a race.
Is there anything else you wanted to add on that one?
Not really. I mean, going off what you said with the trailers, I don't know about you guys, but I only saw that first trailer.
How long ago?
Months ago.
Okay.
And I didn't see anything else about Tomorrowland till the movie came out. So I didn't really go into it expecting anything at all, really.
That was their downfall.
Yeah.
If anything else, it was their downfall. That was their downfall.
Yeah.
And everybody who's rating it right now, they're really rating it because they're like, all that for this? You know?
Right.
So I think
their
they should have.
expectations were too high
The trailer,
based on the way they left the mystery. Yeah.
the trailer should have been, you know, like what's John Carter?
John Carter on Mars. That's the second time we've gone back to this.
But because that is a legendary movie that did not get the recognition
It
it needed.
did not get the recognition, and I think it was the same problem. Same problem. Disney just did that, right?
Yeah.
Disney, same problem. They give you a little piece of what it possibly could be, but then at the same time you're like, wait a minute, I still don't get it.
I feel
In the
you.
trailer, yeah.
I feel
High
you.
expectations.
So, I don't want to be the guy that's just constantly praising. I do have one thing that bothers me, and it bothers me in almost every movie, and I'll say it that way. Maybe,
Tell me about it, stud.
yeah, I think maybe we'll
Sexual
bond
tension.
over it. You know, I mean, the one problem I have
love
with every
bondage.
movie is when some character experiences something that is supernatural or unbelievable, and then as soon as somebody else says something to them that's hard to believe, like, impossible, no way. That pisses me off. Okay, that's like Ninja Turtles acting like aliens. You're
Oh,
a
yeah.
fucking mutant Ninja Turtle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she sees these robots trying to kill her in the store, and they blast. And if the time gets frozen, and she's caught in the blast, all stuff. Chick saves her, and she's riding along in the truck.
Right.
And then there's another moment where she says something about her being a robot for the future, whatever, and she's looking at her like,
That's impossible.
like, come on, seriously? Like, bitch, what did you just fucking see?
Yeah. Like you just saw two people get their head blown up, and
yeah,
and all
you just saw a 9-year-old android rip the head off of older androids.
Right.
Not just any older android.
And then she didn't
Keegan-Michael
even
Key.
trust.
Yeah.
Yes.
She didn't even trust her at first. Like, no, like I just saved your life.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, why am I wasting my time with you? I hate that in the writing because they just want
It's
to create
white
conflict.
people. It's really white people, Eddie.
Listen, I would love to jump on that one, but no, every week I guarantee there's gonna be a moment, or every other week where I'm gonna be pissed at somebody, no matter what movie or what race. It happens. All right, so across the board, again, after talking about it, let's see if anybody's views have been swayed or if their opinions slightly changed. How do you feel about Tomorrowland?
Love it.
Would you recommend it to anybody?
Definitely recommend it, especially to a family. They try and figure out what they're gonna go watch and go see. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Tomorrowland.
No, I'm sorry, I can't. I
And-
mean, the tech is good, the visuals are good, but story-wise, I was bored.
You're bored. And
But I will say that I will recommend this to families who have passes to go see a free movie.
if I got a free movie, I'm gonna use it on the good stuff if it allow me. But
I'm gonna support a good movie and give my money to it.
oh, you got me there. Got there. I haven't paid for a movie in 8 years. Okay, so Tomorrowland.
I thought it was okay.
Would you recommend it to anybody?
I would recommend it, but only when it goes on like HBO or something.
Oh, so you wouldn't recommend they go spend their money on it?
Don't wait. Wait till it comes out on TV.
Wait till
Yeah.
it comes on TV.
That's a clap right there, Benny.
Cut right there. Now we've synced again. Thanks, guys. All right. So,
No. What about you?
Me.
Give us yours.
well, I would definitely recommend it. I loved it. I think it hit right where my expectations were. I feel like people should give it a shot. I think they'll be pleasantly surprised. Is what I put on the Movie Lingo Instagram.
Yeah, I wasn't.
No.
In fact, I have to leave this project as you basically got my hopes up and then you killed them.
I know you were already hating going in. I know you were.
I wasn't hating going in. I was not liking going in.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I was trying not to say that, but yeah, okay. Well, you weren't hating. You definitely weren't looking forward to it going in, and you weren't disappointed then, right?
Yeah, no, I that's one thing I can say about it is my expectations were so low that I was actually a little bit pleasantly surprised at some of the visuals.
Those are the
There you
words
go,
I used.
boom.
Those are the words I used.
All right, you know what? Yeah, but I was pleasantly surprised in a very different way than you wanted me to be.
Okay, awesome. All right, so that's Tomorrowland. If you have seen it, put your opinion on the comments or shoot your own video. Let us know your thoughts. Join the conversation.
Don't shoot your own video.
Come on,
This is our thing.
Shoot your own video.
We don't need your competition.
and call. No, shoot your own video and post it on our page, our comments, our wall.
Shoot your own video and then delete it.
But Tomorrowland.
You're never gonna be as cool as us.
And again, if you haven't seen it, you really should not have gotten this far.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Movie Lingo on Tomorrowland. I'm Eddie Lingo.
Themonster.com.
Cody Flutie.
Kendall Jenkins.
All right, guys, and we'll see you on the next review.
Bye.